For this simple journal, you'll need paper. Sturdy paper is best, or drawing paper to your liking, embroidery thread or a thin string, a needle with an eye large enough for your string to go through, scissors, and a bookmaking awl or a thumbtack works too. First, you'll need your paper. I have drawing paper here. It's multi-purpose paper for drawing, painting, what have you. And I'm going to be folding them first in step 1 here. They should all look like this once you're done with them. You can have more of them, fold more of them for a thicker journal, and fold less of them for a thinner journal. I'm going to show you how to do that for each one of them. So you do the same process for each one. You fold it hamburger style here, like I am. Make sure to take the time to make sure your edges are nice and cleanly lined up. I crease it with my fingers first, and then I take the side of my scissor handle and crease it again with that, making a nice sharp edge crease. And do the same with all of them. Step 2 is to make the marks for your holes. These holes will allow your thread to go through your papers and bind your journal together. So they're all 1 inch in on the crease that you have made on each of your papers. I'm measuring 1 inch with my ruler, making sure that my mark is on the crease and at the 1 inch mark. Then I'll shimmy my ruler over so it's 1 inch from the other side as well. And there you go. You would do the same thing for each one of your papers. And the measurement would be a little bit different if you're using a different paper size than I am. Step 3 is to poke your holes. So to make an initial hole that's easier to get through with your bigger needle, probably a bigger needle, you might decide to use a thumbtack. I like using a thumbtack. It's nice and easy, much easier than getting a needle through. And there you go. That's one method. You can hold the paper in your hand and push it through, or you can take the thumbtack, lay the paper on a pad, and push the thumbtack through the paper, making a circular motion in each technique to make the hole a little bigger. You can see I have a finished journal here. This is what it should look like once it's done. Pretty simple, and you can make a whole bunch of them for a bunch of different adventures or days, depending on how much you write. I have my needle. I also have 4 paper clips on the right there, and I have my thread. You can use thread, string, whatever you have. I like to use 2. It kind of makes the 2 different colors stand out, and it looks nice. I like the way it looks. Take an arm's length of string or thread, and I'm going to do 2 colors, so I'm matching up the ends here and just pulling the other one the same length that I want both of them to be. And cut it at the end. Don't worry too much about the length. An arm's length will do, and you'll have a little bit of extra room if you do that. Thread the needle. This might be hard. If you're having trouble, just twist the thread through, or twist the thread between your fingers and then make a loop, put it through. Now I have chosen to make a bunch of different journals, so I want each of them to have 7 papers in them. So I'm putting the 7 papers together. Now I want to kind of eliminate the crease for a second and make them flat. So I'm straightening them out just as you would documents on your desk. and clipping them together so that they stay in that uniform shape while I'm threading them together. This will make it easier for you to get your needle through the holes too, because your holes should line up now. Okay, we are going to start from the inside and make our holes a little bit bigger if they are looking a little small. You can also do this from the outside, but it's a little easier from the inside. You have that leverage, and it prevents the paper from falling apart on the outside. And now make sure that your tail, the part that you're not really depending on going through the paper yet, is long enough so that it doesn't fall through. Now insert your needle from the outside of the journal and pull through, making sure that you have just enough thread so that it won't fall through and you'll have room to tie it later. So about a foot is great, or maybe 7 to 8 inches. Now go into the other hole from the inside of the journal, because we want this seamless look of the inside having no knots. Okay, you're great, good job. Make sure that's taut. And we're going to take our needle off of the thread, put it aside. We're going to tie a simple knot, and make sure it's in a cross when you put your finger down to keep it in place. Like that. Now, this is the tricky part. Put one thread over the other, then pull it through the loop, and you have yourself a knot. And we'll use our funky spider fingers to pull it tight without messing up the knot, and you're good. That might take a little while, but I believe in you. Now we're going to tie a nice little bow. You could finish it off without a bow. I like bows. I don't know. It's a little girly side of me, I guess. And there we go. A nice little bow. I'm going to double knot it because nobody wants their journal to fall apart, especially when they're traveling and they're really invested in it and they have a bunch of really beautiful drawings in it and it just falls apart on the bus. Nope, nobody wants that. And there we go. You have a beautiful journal, my friend. Take off the clips and you can leave it overnight pressed under a bunch of books to keep it flat, and it'll stay in its nice shape for your journaling adventures.